Good afternoon everyone, Hayden here. In this video I'm just going to talk you through the biggest things I've learned, the top 3 things that I've learned while setting up my Amazon arbitrage business. Now I'm going to run you through, firstly, got my little list here. Firstly I'm going to run you through setting up as a limited company rather than a sole trader to start with. Now I've luckily dodged this because I've got a great mentor who's helping me at the moment, a couple of mentors. But the biggest thing, he said, one of the biggest things to start with is setting up as a limited company, because if you set up as a sole trader, it can actually take a long time to transfer your account from a sole trader to a limited company later on. And obviously if you end up doing lots of sales, which we all hope and want to do and pray to do, then the last thing you want is it taking a long time to become a limited company, because you're probably going to have to limit yourself in terms of how much stock you're buying and selling, because you're hitting VAT, etc., and all these sorts of things, all these potentials. So it's just a barrier that you don't want to have to wait for. I've heard someone else on my mentoring program, the program that I'm being mentored in, apparently it's taken about 26 weeks and still no luck trying to transfer from a sole trader to a limited company. So that'd be tip number 1 from things that I've learned on my journey while setting up, is don't do it as a limited company. Do it as a limited company. Don't do it as a sole trader, even though it's tempting just to get yourself started. Okay? And also, to start with, just when you're setting the limited company up and when you're setting the bank accounts up, expect it to take time, because right now I'm a little bit frustrated because I'm just in the stages of trying to get my card. I actually use Tide Bank to be my bank provider, if you like, for my business account. And unfortunately, what's going on with the old hair there? Unfortunately, it looks like Amazon doesn't accept it because it's a prepaid card. So that's a little bit of a heads up there. I don't think Amazon accepts Tide business accounts for you to be able to do the whole service. I've heard that apparently sometimes some people have actually used them. They've been using them for years, but not too sure about that. Generally, I think you should go with a high street bank, someone that's really well known, because it is classed as a prepaid card, and I'm having issues at the moment, and it's really frustrating having to wait to set up my account because I need to now wait for a Barclays account to be open. Still looking into it, but yeah, so heads up there. Don't use a prepaid card, they don't accept it, things like Tide and the online banking sites. Okay. Number 2, make sure the card is accepted. Now, I've just used that as my second point, so that was actually my point number 2. Make sure that the card, make sure the bank account you're going for is accepted. As I said, don't use the high street banks. Do use the high street banks. Don't use the online prepaid card sites like Tide, and obviously there's others. Make sure that they're not a prepaid card, because Amazon just doesn't like them, and it makes your life a lot harder. Number 3, set up a Google Drive at the very beginning. Now, I told you that I've got mentors, and I've actually set up my Google account. So what I'm doing with that Google account is actually uploading every single document that I've got in terms of company formation, in terms of any legal parts that I need in terms of company setup. Many different things. I've got all my master sheet from any courses that I do, or any sheets that I might make. I'm putting it in the drive. Any unique tax reference numbers from the business, I'm putting it in the drive so that I can just simply open up the drive and everything's there. I haven't got sheets of paper all over the place. Now, it may sound unnecessary to start with, but I do think it could be a great thing at the very beginning of the journey to actually start using that as a method. So putting everything on the drive to start with. So just going to run through them 3 points quickly with you. So number 1 is set up a limited company at the start and expect to wait a little bit of time to set that up. Actually, you can set up the account pretty quickly. It's the bank account that usually takes a little bit of time. Okay, so yeah, number 1 is set up a limited company at the start. Don't go as a sole trader. Number 2 is make sure that the bank provider that you use is preferably not a prepaid card, because you may be able to use it in some scenarios, but it looks like it's just a little bit dodgy, and I'm actually having to wait around now. If you do go with a high street provider, make sure that you're willing to have patience. I've waited about 12 days for Barclays now. It is around Christmas time, but I've been waiting about 12 days now. It's just taken a long time, and it shouldn't take that long. It should take you sort of 2 to 5 days to set up a business account. But just be warned that it could take a little bit of time. Okay, so that's number 2. Just go with probably a high street bank provider rather than the old online ones. As I say, maybe Revolut's good, I don't know, but look into it yourself, but just do your research before. Number 3, set up a Google Drive account first to start with. Start uploading all the files onto there, because it's just going to make life a hell of a lot easier later on.